What's going on, MMA fans? Coming back to do my Dream 4 review video, and this stole, without a doubt, event of the weekend for me. Just got done watching the fights. Gonna run down them, talk about them. You got a 6 submission, a vicious knockout, a great fight, and some crazy stuff in between. So let's run down the card. Sakuraba versus Manhoff. This fight pretty much went the way I said it was going to go. Manhoff, better striker. Sakuraba getting older, so on and so forth. Sakuraba trying to change levels. Manhoff, couple good jabs. Throws a right high kick, drops Sakuraba in his traps. In his tracks. Drops Sakuraba in his tracks. And I wish I could edit that out, but that's not going to happen. Manhoff, right high kick, drops Sakuraba in his tracks. Starts pounding him out on the ground. Gets inside Sakuraba's guard, yanks him by the ankle, and pounds him out. Manhoff wins via first round knockout. Wow. That was some nasty stuff. Sakuraba's taken some beatings over the years, but I don't think he could take that one. That was pretty bad. So, Melvin Manhoff, first round knockout. Next fight, Jason Miller versus Jacare Souza. This one went pretty much exactly like I said it was going to go. Jacare, had a tough time trying to even get Mayhem into any type of submission. He had a couple Kimura attempts. He went for a bottom side choke, which you don't see employed very often. It's rare. You see it. He pulled his arm up this side on Mayhem and then came back around and then locked it in. But unless it's at the very beginning of the fight, you're not slippery, you're not slick, you're not going to pull that type of a submission off. So, interesting the way he improvised that, but, you're not going to pull something like that off. But both guys jockeying for position. Check this fight out if you haven't seen it. It was a really good ground battle, very interesting. This was an interesting technical fight. And if you don't appreciate the ground game, this will make you appreciate it, because both these guys are top-level jiu-jitsu practitioners. Mayhem, very good on the ground. Jacare, world-class ADCC guy. And this was just a great fight on the ground. Both guys jockeying for position, back and forth. Jacare controlled the fight, though, for the most part. He laid on Miller. Jacare's striking, it has improved, but it's not the level that it needs to be. Mayhem, subpar striking in this fight, but Jacare did a lot of, on top of Mayhem. He was controlling Mayhem, and he wins the fight pretty convincingly. I think they gave him a unanimous decision. So, Jacare wins this fight. Next fight, Zel Galashitz versus Tai Ken. Man, it seems like these two can't, stop getting into, crazy stoppages, but this fight was good for the first minute and a half, and I don't know what the stoppage was on this. It didn't go any more than a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. Zel throwing a couple good shots, Tai, getting into the clinch, both guys clinching, throwing knees. Zel gets Tai in the middle of the mat, does a toss, and just seeing that made me almost, just go run to the bathroom, because, that was nasty. He landed right here on his hand and bent his arm all the way back in the other direction. He tore something, and he's going to have surgery. That's all I'm going to say, because something got torn, and that was nasty. So, Zel wins via a TKO, doctor stoppage, I think is what they're going to call that, because, that was nasty. That was nasty. So, at the end of the fight, Zel, of course, telling Tai, we're going to have a rematch. So there will be a third fight that will happen. Hopefully, nothing crazy happens again. There won't be a cut. There won't be a torn ligament in an arm or a broken arm. And hopefully next time we'll get to see the fight go all the way to the end. The next fight, Don Sik-Yoon versus Gegard Mousasi. Mousasi was he crisp in this fight. Leg kicks were just on the money. Inside, outside, body shots. And he was doing what he wanted to at will as far as the stand-up aspect. And, Don Sik-Yoon had a couple good, shots. He went for an arm bar in the first round when the fight was actually on the ground. And, you know, just it was too slick. Mousasi just spun out of it. Perfect way to escape out of an arm bar. He just moved his hips, bucked to the side, and pulled it out all the way out. And, you know, Mousasi in the first round just had excellent takedown defense. And, you know, I figured that he wouldn't get taken down for the most part, but there were a couple times where Don Sik-yoon got him down. But Mousasi just controlled everything. I mean, leg kicks. He had better the combinations. On the ground, he was controlling Dong Sik-yoon, which, you know, that was a testament in itself. I mean, he had him in half guard mount. He had back control of Dong Sik-yoon. He had him in a body triangle. He was working for a Kimura, working then for an Americana. Then he had him, you know, trying to work for a rear naked choke, which he wasn't going to get in, but then just throwing shots, and he wins this fight via unanimous decision. I mean, controlled both rounds, looked crisp, looked fluid. Mousasi looked really good in this fight. I was really impressed. This was a great fight. Great fight. But the Mayhem Miller and the Jacare fight was definitely my fight. I love that. That was a great fight. Great technical battle on the ground. The next fight, and the last one that I actually did predictions on, was Katsuhiko Nagata versus Shinya Aoki. Oh my god. This is going to get my Submission of the Month honors right here. And I'll warn you ahead of time if you guys watch my videos that I do that on. Oh man. Aoki at the beginning of this fight. Let me just run through this first before I actually talk about the submission. Nagata, you know, primarily a wrestler. Aoki, best grappler at 170 in the world. Judo, black belt with, you know, his jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's just sick on the ground. And Aoki just, you know, he showed why, you know, he's so good. I mean, he had pretty good fluid strikes. He threw a couple inside leg kicks, but, you know, went for 2 takedowns. One was a sweep with his leg, and the other was kind of a judo sweep with his leg, a toss, hip toss to the side, working, you know, in and out on top of Nagata in the mount, just looking for submissions. You know, he went a couple times for a Kimura, then he was looking, maybe trying to go for an arm triangle. You know, the fight progresses. He's just throwing a couple pop shots here and there, just trying to open up Nagata, and he pulls. And I've never ever seen this. This is the first time I've seen this. So this is, I'm going to try to describe this to you the best that I can, but please check the fight out so you can see this, because this was a sick submission. He had Nagata up underneath of his arm, and he was working an omoplata. And when he worked it, he actually worked his leg up inside of Nagata's arm, and then he put it up across Nagata's throat, and he had a topside gogoplata. I mean, that's technically what it was. And he just yanks up on Nagata, and he makes him tap in mount with a topside gogoplata. Holy God! I almost ran to the bathroom again. And this time it wasn't from you know, wanting to throw. I almost pissed myself. I mean, wow, what a sick submission. That definitely is one of the craziest submissions I think I've ever seen. The gogoplata on Joachim Hansen was bad, but this was nuts. Absolutely nuts. Oh my God. You got to check this fight out. Check it out. That was Submission of the Month for sure. And this event was my event of the weekend, because it just had everything. I mean, it was an awesome event, top to bottom. The Don Sik-yoon Mousasi fight was great. You know, you got to see Mousasi just show his skills. I mean, he's, you know, a boxer primarily, but, you know, he's well-rounded now. He's just getting better and better all the time. Jacare looked great. Technical battle on the ground. You got your knockout, and you got your submission. So, I mean, this was a great event. You got everything that you wanted if you're a diehard MMA fan, and great event. That's all I can say. Check these fights out. I give it a 9.5. This was a great event. This was a really great event. So check it out. And this was my review of the Dream 4 event that took place yesterday. Or Friday, one of the two. Can't remember which day it was on. But on that note, you guys have a great day.